Good morning. Welcome back. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. Today is Monday, July 1st, 2024. Mike Mesikeno is here with me on this one. And we have quite a few dailies this morning. We're going to be starting with what I have here is the Punch newspaper. And the Punch has this major headline. I'm not sure. Do you have the Punch with you there, Mike? Do you have it?
Yeah.
You have it?
So yeah, bank plane grounded as federal government clamps down on private jets import duty. We had some talk about the Minister of Aviation talking about how some private jets are being used to smuggle money, hard drugs, and all of that. The annotation underneath the headline goes on to say aircraft stopped from flying over alleged 1.9 billion naira unpaid import duties. And then we also have the US and UN condemn Borno bombing. Tinubu vows to crush Boko Haram. Police guard Rivers hospital treating explosion suspect. Suspected headers hack organ rice farmer to death. TCN remains repairs plunge Ondo Ekiti to 2-month blackout. And then we also have here, federal government withdraws 5 oil blocks from 2024 bid round. Senate resumes probe as AGF submits 30 trillion naira loan documents. JAPA outrage as UK-based driver remains on federal government payroll. Wow, that's quite interesting because that one happens quite a lot. Apart from having ghost worker syndrome, the point is that a number of people, when they are working for the government and then they travel, you find out that they're still being paid. So is there some sort of a way to update records just before payment at every single particular month? So people we've had that report a number of times. Once the person gets into the civil service payroll, what happens is that they just continue earning, just taking the money until maybe something happens or maybe forever and all of that. But yeah, we also have here beside the flag, Lagos Calabar Highway North South section begins August as federal government suspends new roads. All of that on the front page of the Punch.
I find it really interesting that someone is not even in the country anymore and they can still earn in another country. It goes to, our standards of record keeping and updating our databases, etc., etc. Yeah, we'll definitely be following that story later on. We have with us the Daily Trust as well, and it says here, Cybercrimes Act, despite amendment, clamp down on journalists persists. It says 25 reporters faced prosecution since 2015. Nigeria, one of West Africa's most dangerous places to practice. Police, federal government, presidency, mum on this one. Page 4 has more on that. There is an infographic, as is regular with the Daily Trust, a timeline of some of the arrests, detentions, and harassment of journalists in the spotlight there, with quite a bit of detail, even pictures in there as well. Okay. Beneath the masthead there, it says NESG backs CBN's stoppage of price verification system on FX. Governor Arada queries Katsina Emir. It says here, I lost 5 family members to Goza attacks, according to a relative. And that is, of course, making reference to the Goza attacks that happened over the weekend. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
Okay, on to the new Telegraph here. We have here, cholera spreads to Kirikiri Correctional Center. He afflicts 25 inmates. We spoke about that in the news. We can also see here, 71,000 Nigerians secure Canadian citizenships. Interesting. SERAP wants CBN to account for missing 100 billion naira dirty notes and orders. CP orders clamp down on vehicles without number plates in Abuja. Federal government approves 2 trillion naira housing scheme for Nigerians. We have here top of just beneath the flag here. Okay, let's go with top of the flag. CBN credits to government and private sector rise by 10% to 102.69 trillion naira. We have here why NAS must do more to assuage people's sufferings by lawyers, page 14 and 16. Highest French poll turnout in 40 years as far right seeks historic win. One dead as gunmen storm French wedding. There's a picture there of French President Emmanuel Macron. Compensation communities erecting new structures on coastal highway. That's the federal government. And ex-CDS Ogohi dies at 75 years. He was patriotic to the end. General Musa, all of that on page 3 and also page 26. FG's tame posture emboldening terrorists in Northeast. That is from the former Vice President Atiku. Purveyors of terror will pay heavy price, Tinubu, as 19 northern governors and UN condemn Goza's suicide bombing and orders. Bandits kill 1, kidnap farmers and 5 orders in Kaduna and FCT. Time to embrace state police is now, AIG. That is page 2, 5, 7, and 28. From NGF to regional zonal governors forums on ending rise of political power blocks. And what we can see here, using smartphones to calm kids' tantrums not effective. Study. I 100% am on that hill. That will be on page 27.
Tantrums. Has it been used to cure tantrums, though?
Yeah, it's the first thing. I mean, they're trying to tantrum. You give them your phone.
Really?
That's what they're talking about.
Well, if a child is requesting for a phone, it might not be considered a tantrum. There are different types of tantrums. At this point, I'm wondering what sort of tantrum they're making reference to. But there is so much research that shows that giving children distractions, different things to calm them down is effective. If, for instance, they're in a supermarket, you're probably wondering, yes, okay, the parents probably just wanted to give the child something to distract them so that they don't cause a fuss. But to the parent that has like 3 kids strolling behind her, until she pays for those products, she needs anything, any tool to just distract that child. I don't know if I'm on the same page with that. I wanted to touch a bit on the cholera spread in Kirikiri Correctional Center. Now, it is a scary thought thinking about those confined quarters, very, well, apparently, according to reports, quite overcrowded, meaning that it would cause a quicker spread if not managed effectively. Then you have to think about the security officials going home to their families, causing some kind of spread as well if it's not managed well. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that it's being taken care of. Of course, the Lagos State government linked it to unregulated beverages, which is also a concern. A lot of people buy these beverages on the streets that don't have NAFDAC numbers. And once you see it in a sealed bottle, for some reason, it's being trusted now. It's being believed that, okay, it's safe to consume. So, yes, please take care out there. Make sure that you're buying from a reputable source and check for that NAFDAC number if you can. All right, Mike, are there any of those drinks that you are into? Is it Tiger Nut? Is it Zobo?
No.
None of them?
No.
None of them at all?
On to the Guardian, yeah. And empty ATMs dot Metropolis banks trade cash with POS operators. Yeah, just beside that particular picture that is depicting that particular headline, we see here, refineries to begin operations before January. Senate, they'll push it back to January. Senate assures mayhem looms in North over hardship, Lukman warns. We see here, that headline is, the kicker says, currency commoditization. Interesting term there that used to describe it. How Buhari government failed to recover $69 billion looted funds, Obono Abia alleges. Endless communal conflicts, worsen food insecurity and hunger in Cross River. Goza suicide attacks. Tinubu months vows justice as death toll rises to 23. And the LEA nabs 60 at Abuja drug party. Destroys 18,632 kilograms of cannabis in Edo forest. And the picture story there is that of a Delta State Commissioner for Housing, Honorable Godknows Angele, the CEO of Good News Creative Ideas Limited, Prince Sam Ogri, and the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Development, architect Ahmed Dangiwa, Deputy Governor of Delta State, Sir Monday Oyema, the Honorable Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Alhaji Tijani Gwazo, and the representative of Uvi Monarch, His Royal Majesty Sidesu Abiy during the nationwide groundbreaking exercise for housing projects, which is under the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates program of the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in Delta State. Quite a long description there for that particular picture story there. And yeah, the story is on page 9 of The Guardian.
All right, then. At this point, we're wrapping it up on the headlines in the dailies. Please share your thoughts with us. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know.